Good day, gentlemen and ladies. As you can see on my left, on your right, I took my MS 260 apart. Why did I did that is because I want to talk to you about that outstanding chainsaw, and I will call it my 10 years review on the Stihl MS 250. I did 60, but it was 250 chainsaw that it is. All right. The reason that I took it apart is I want to show you some very dirty place in there. Like I really went like in deep inside the chainsaw without removing major parts. What I mean by major parts is anything touching about the ignition system, fuel system, or carburetor system. Basically, I keep the main body together, but everything, as you see, is loose. And I remove the crank and the chain bar, something that everyone can do. And it was also for answering a few questions that you good folks asked me about that chainsaw, like how to remove the handlebar. I know Steve Rob reviewed that outstanding gentleman living in northern Ontario he was asking me at one time how do you remove these dismantle it. So and also I had other question related chainsaw operation, which I will answer during that video. Now right at the bat, because I know I make a promise to Steve, how do you remove the handlebar and how to remove it basically. I'm gonna answer that right away. The other will be in my video when we do, of course, the maintenance operator, the review of the maintenance book, which still is outstanding for that. They make a great learning operator book. Everything is in that book. You don't know nothing about chainsaw, everything is in there. All right. And there's another reason for that is because they really like to teach people. Husqvarna also. And just to make a link with my Lincoln, why do I buy Lincoln welders instead of other welder? Well, because they have schools of welding. They make welding books, so they like any company which it's very dedicated about how to use their product, also how to teach properly to use it. It's showing the commitment. And still Lincoln, other company which make outstanding videos and book how to use properly, and it's always in safety in mind. So enough said about the book. We're gonna review it now. To answer for Steve from Steve Rob review the question, I'm gonna be very brief. Basically, the way then these, I'm just gonna take the cap. So all the screws holding the chainsaw together, it's all the same screws. It's like a star nuts with the that type of screwdriver. All right. Now to have access to these types, most of them, if you see it, you can remove it, but a lot of them, they're dissimulated behind these holes. And this is the vibration O-rings or tubes, which the screw is in the back in there, but they're all covered with these caps. All right. So in order to remove these caps out, I'm just gonna push one right, like gently. In order to remove these caps out, you basically have to pry it out with basically I use, this is the two screwdriver I use, and basically one on each side, and then you just pop it out like this. So I don't think you need a demo, but just to give you an idea, you put the two screwdriver like this on the side where the cutting are right here. I hope you see it. All right, and you just enter like this, and then you pry it off. And from there, you can have access to all the bolts and nuts. Now you need to be smart like this. You don't need to pry off, like you pry it off, you remove it, then you remove the screw with the proper screwdriver that I just showed you, and you start to remove it. So basically what I've done is I start removing the chain bar, the cover, like you remove the 2 screws. Then I remove the bar in the chain. Then you remove the just hold on. I'm just gonna remove it. The clutch mechanism, and this is the bearing inside that clutch. And I'm just gonna put it where it is located. I'm gonna go really gentle. So basically the clutch is attached like here, and when you remove it, you need to remove that sear clip. All right, it's attached in there, but the way it is basically that small bearing go on the shaft like this, and this need to be cleaned very often in grease. All right, the clutch go right like so, and you see because there's a notch, and then there's that washer goes right above it, and then the C-clip. Now to remove it, you know how to remove a C-clip. There's a little holes on the side. You just use a small grabber. You put your hands above it because you don't want to lose that. Especially it's always happen on a Friday late afternoon, or like when the shop are closed. So you start to remove the C-clip, then the thing here, the washer, then the clutch. All right, just gonna put that there because I want to drop it on the ground. Then very gently that small bearing, and then you start to remove the plate here where you have access. This is the plate that goes right in there. Now, since I have that chainsaw more than 10 years ago, I think it's we're in 2022, let's say 11 years for sure, right? I'm not too strong on math. But you remove, simply unscrew the screw there, you remove it there, a little bit smaller. These are the screw, they are much smaller than all the rest of the screw. They're all the same basically. And then you remove the panel. And look how filthy it is inside. I never ever, it's all jammed up of various dust. I don't know if you can see it. I hope you're able to see it. There's no way for me to see, but all right. And yeah, this is the clutch, the spring, the mechanism of the handle. Now once I remove that, then I switch around, and you need to remove some of the when you remove all the handles. All right. Then you start to unscrew all the various screws that you see that I show to you. When the handle is removed, then you can remove the cover here. Now for the cover, you need to juggle things, like you need to play with the handle to put it under, then you move the cover. That's why everything is loose. The most important step you have to do is make sure you remove all the handle first, then you can remove the cover at last. Try to remember that, please. Is very important because you ain't gonna achieve that, and I think that's the most problems. The reason that I know that is I had a friend who had it was not a MS 260, it was a 250, I think it was a 210 or 250, it was basically the same. And that's how I figure out. So basically remove all the screws, but there's just remember, you need the chainsaw bar, the cover, the chainsaw bar, then of course that's the first piece you remove. It's easy to remove. You just put the choke in the down position, and then it's really well made. By putting the choke in here in the down position, it will remove it. Then you just turn the spark here, the cover, and you remove it. All right. So cover the chain bar, remove the chain bar, the chain, then remove all the screws. Then you remove that. Once that is removed, you remove that little thing here on that side, and then at last the cover. And look at the inside; it's filthy, like right here where my little finger is. All right. Now on the other side, that's where the electric coil is to make the sparks goes. It's filthy, like you can see the piston head also, everything, and that may cause problem like poor ventilation, for cooling ventilation, electrical maybe some problem between the gap. So that's why I should have cleaned that way more earlier, like every 5 years, I'd say, because after 10 years, holy smoke, man. And just to let you know, it's such an outstanding chainsaw. And Joe Lesage, my good friend, from Stihl to Wood, and you can see his outstanding video. He make a pool with a big concrete bunker pad all around it, and all this excavator too. It's, oh my god, he must have, like, come on, during his working hours, like, come on, that guy is a superhero for me. All right, really tough guy, and outstanding family work too. It is his main chainsaw also, and we both of us, I'm no longer do that right now for this year, but I've been using that chainsaw since that 10 years, and Joe can vouch for me, and I have many videos. Yes, I have my Husqvarna, like my big beast, when I was cutting large wood, and also my vintage chainsaw, like I made videos about it. But this is an outstanding main purpose chainsaw for let's say like less than I'm trying to think. Just, I'm not too good at mathematics, but if your trees are within that range, which is, where's my measuring tape? Anyway, I'm just thinking I should do just so, yeah, measuring tape there. I have to find someone somewhere. Anyway, if you're that range, you're in business, basically, what I'm trying to tell you. All right. Now, the bar is very well conceived. I used to have a bar with a greasable, like a little hole there, so the sprocket at the end was greasable, but now they call it oil-o-matic or something, roll-o-matic, yeah. Yeah, and what I do is I clean it very well with a screwdriver from up to towards down, and make sure the greasing oil, see that one? It's all jammed up, so that's important to clean too, all right? Cleaning, I make sure it's all clean, and I do grease these. What I do instead of greasing here on the side is I put grease between, and then I push it with my fingers in there. I do grease it like that. It's not supposed to be grease, but grease never hurt, right? Hurt. Just I want to do a quick recap. So chainsaw, yes, filter, maintenance, spark plugs. Always buy everything at the dealer, at the Stihl dealer. And just gonna clean my hair. Oh, I even removed I removed that to have a better access to. And again, if I had like a crank, that chainsaw will start. So that's what I tell you, remove until you remove major component like fuel line, electrical component, and that way you can do a good cleanup. And you're doing it. It's a good inspection to do. All right, so I encourage you to do that. And besides, you know better your chainsaw. By the way, after 10 years, all the screws were kind of loose. Like there's a, like when you tie it with plastic, but that was way too much loose. So that's why it triggered me to start to do an investigation. Now the guard here, it's supposed to have a plastic here to keep and it's reinforced with steel. And I broke it once. I tried to remember how did I broke it, but you should have here. It's basically it's under the chain. If the chain does break out, it will keep the chain there and not getting jammed nut in there. So this one is broken, but and also to keep clean everything around for the oil. Now these chainsaw, there's like you're gonna see on the book, there's 3 ways to adjust the chain. There's the one here, there's another one in front, and the third one I don't remember how, but it's another way to adjust it. All right. Now I'm gonna clean my hands and we're gonna talk about the book. All right, so stick around. All right, now this is a sensitive subject amongst men, because most women, they like to read stuff, they want to learn about it. It's like, by the way, in the military at the boot camp, women shoot better than men. Why? Well, I mean rifling. Why? Because women are afraid of guns. All right, so they will take the much information from the drill instructor, the weapon instructor. They will review it and they pay attention. Most boys, they will see movies, they will influence by that, and trust me, they have some bad shooting habits on the movies. And yeah, so women shoot better than men, and men iron better than women. And I have many fun stories to tell you about that, because most women, they don't know. I mean, I know better. I know men, they're better cooking than women, and I know men are being hiring. Hey, that's the new society we are, right? Now, let's go back to our message. Basically, what I'm telling you, guys, there's a way to read a book and not making anything boring. If you just take the book and not just read it like this once, it's boring. But if you start to add like tabs and you start to highlighting it like I do, all right. So I basically take a book, I read it, and I have a highlighter, all right, and I highlight important things inside my book, like the comment, the contents, what's important. I highlight it so the next time I know. Then I put a marker. Hey, this is the page there, and that book is filled with outstanding information. So if you guys are like to see image, so if you highlighting and put marking, you start to hit that book. So please, I mean, if you don't know nothing about chainsaw, before looking at videos, look at the proper technical operating book made by the outstanding maker like Stihl, and that will. And also, like, this is a general book for those three models. I notch them. I use the right one with an angle, with the arrow. This is the model I have. It's a MS 250. So yes, and you can see it's been battle damage, but I keep it in good working order. Like, it's not and stuff like that. So like, yeah, mark your page. Use a highlighter. Now I'm just gonna do a quick review. Not so boring from the other one, but it's expensive. It's I don't remember the price. I will put it under, but it is expensive. I think I still have the receipt. All right, so there's things inside. I'm just gonna step aside, like the safety precaution operator, like, and that's a thing. You can see that the company main directive is about safety. They said the operator physical condition. You must be in good physical condition and mental health and not under influence of any substance, drugs, alcohol, which may impair vision, dexterity, or judgment. And when you operate one of these, and there's many videos, they don't talk about that, and some even chainsaw book. They said, yeah, make sure. Am I there today? Am I more boring about my going through divorce? Trust me, I've been there. Or separation or other things. When you operate a chainsaw, you need to be physically, mentally, like, I'm living the moment right now. That's why it's so important. You're living the time of your life. When you're operating that thing and you're not happy, you're not there, well, put the chainsaw aside, because accident will occur, right? Right? All right. Now, what else? That the safety thing. Yes, the white finger phenomena. It's called the Reynolds phenomena. Prolonged use of chainsaw or other machine exposing the operator to vibration may produce white finger disease. It's basically because the vibration under cold environment break the blood vessel, and then there's a poor circulation. My father had that, and I had uncles who had that because they were logger back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. And my father had, because it was not the holding the chainsaw, it was the operating one. And sometimes it depends what's your body function, but yeah. And they talk a lot about it. I'll let you read it in the book, but basically and they have two paragraphs. One thing is just to let you know also, they said in the book, all factors which contribute to the white finger disease are not known. But cold weather, smoking, and disease or physical conditions that affect blood vessel and blood transport, as well as high vibration levels and long period of exposure to vibration, are mentioned as a factor in development of white finger disease. So then they start to talk about the vibration. My old vintage chainsaw didn't have any vibration system. It was steel on steel, except maybe the holding bar with a little rubber tube, which doesn't work too much at -10 because it's frozen. It's all frozen. So yes, and then they talk about proper clothing, of course, cutting pants, protecting your hands, good footing, wearing protecting glasses, and yes. And just to let you know, here's my helmet. Right there. Just hold that. Stick around. Now, this is my helmet, my logging helmet I'm using. Now, most of you guys, not you guys, most of the guys thinking this will protect against sharp object or anything when you're doing a cutting. Yes, it will does. But I tell you something, it won't protect you against a steel object going at that speed. All right, that's why all safety videos made by a proper company, and that book mentioned it. Wear your safety glasses, all right, because this is against dust, chunk of wood, all right, but not high flying object made of steel or even wood. Like it will go through that. This one is made of nylon. There's also steel. Steel will have a better protection, but not. There's a limit. So the safety glasses, yes, you need to wear your safety glasses, and also that. All right, just a safety tip. Now there's various items like how to take care of your chainsaw, how to carry it properly, how to start it. Everything is in there. The starting procedure, and also various type of warnings. And that's why when you read it the first time, do have a highlighter, highlight stuff like this. All right. Hello. And I've got the ladies on the other side. They like my dogs. All right. So yes, make sure your chainsaw is clean. Make sure your chainsaw handles are in grip, are in good condition and free of moisture, pitch, oil, or grease, because you want to have a good grip with it, and that's why it's important to have gloves when you operate your chainsaw. It will cut down the vibration, but also to have a better grip on your chainsaw. But I mean, later it could be the rubber glove also, and yeah, it's as long as you have a better grip, that's the most important thing. They talk about kickbacks, pushback, pull in, like there are many pages, and take the time to read that, especially if you're a newbie at it. It's worth it to take and look at videos from various sources, like trustable sources. I'd just like to do an honorable mention with the Canadian ambassador. The best of all is GP Outdoor, Gordon Potter. And I even put myself a comment with videos to see what it was made in Ontario and Northern Ontario, and outstanding too. Now talking about GP, all right. So of course there's things that the book said, and I totally agree with you. And especially in the outstanding Canadian forest industry we have here. And forest, I mean industry, yes, but also the forest itself. Like the pulling, all right? And I just thought to do a personal story about pulling. I'm gonna read the book first, all right? Pulling in. Pulling in occurs when the chain of the bottom of the bar suddenly stops when it's pinched, cut, or encounter a foreign object in the wood. The reaction of the chain pulled the saw forward and may cause the operator lose control. And that what happened to me. later on, right? Pull frequently occur when the bumper spike on the saw and it's not held securely against the tree or the limbs, and when the chain is not rotating at the full speed before in contact with the wood. All right. Now, to avoid pulling, always start a cut when the chain rotating at full speed and the bumper spike in contact with the wood. Basically, when you're cutting the wood, make sure that this is the limb of the wood. Make sure it's like this. But at the beginning, it's really tough because there's nothing. You're starting to cut the wood, all right? And that's what happened to me. That's why my father, and now that's my personal story. The wood limb is like this, and your bar, like I show you, is like that, all right? And the forest that the land that my father bought, that wood used to be a farm field before, like 100 years, not that long, it was 50 years ago. As a matter of fact, I hold a senior citizen watch which cut the wood there and installed the fence, nailing the fence against the tree. Do you have an idea where I'm going there? Right there. All right, so the limbs was like that, and I had nails of the tree was like this, and I have like a fence, like U-shaped nails, and said there's no way for me to, and I was like, my father always told me, he said, put the chainsaw like this, hold it firmly and start. So if there's something in the wood, it's stopping at low speed, you ain't gonna lose the chainsaw. But that time it was hard. At the end of the day, like the book was saying, I just like and less. Yes, I was going like that, and the chain with my vintage chainsaw with no end guard. All right, I can show you the chainsaw. There's videos like my old Homelite Chainsaw. It's one of them. All right, and trust me, when that chain hit that nail, and that nail was on the side, so there's no way that chain would cut the nail. Well, the chainsaw went airborne, like disappear. And that was my lesson. So each time since then, I stop, all right, and I go slowly, and then I start like this. And when it's like this, if it will hit, well, the chainsaw is going to be, but at the beginning, the wood is right here. You're cutting, the bar is right like this, and the surface of the wood is like this. There's no way. The only thing holding you is your hands. All right? So you need, even if you put it in an angle, they will still have no way for you to engage that bar. Unless it's like very deep down. All right? But we don't have a logger, some logger have like a deep teeth. Basically, what I'm telling you is yes, in the best condition, like you're sure 100% there's no nails. But trust me, I can call myself a post-traumatic from that incident. And I was around, I must have been 15, 16 years old when that happened. So use your brain, basically, when you cut it, all right? If you're sure it's 100, do like the book said. Nail it, and then boom, and then it will go. And yes, so I hope that made clear that sensitive subjects with me and GP. But like an image, it's worth it 1,000 words. And I know the book, like it's clean wood, no problem there. Even my friend Joe, like when I explained to him about that portion, like the wood is lower, it's only you holding the chainsaw. When the chainsaw is lower, then that piece here will hold the chainsaw in place, no problem there. All right? Now, let's continue about the yes. Then there's they talk about escape path, various ways. So take the time and highlighting, conventioning, cutting, then one phase technique. Make sure making sapwood cuts, filling cuts, hinges, warning, and stuff like that. So there's very outstanding, very well made book for that. Like how to avoid, how to buck also using wood stand, or the special logger John 01 self logging. Go see his video about that. Like it's not used just because the tree is hanging himself in the air. So we made a good joke, a good sense of humor. The way to look at to tie up your chain, like you tied up your chain, and then as you're working it, it will get loose. You need to tie it up again, and one at the end of the day, you loosen up. All right. There's also I'm just going through stuff, and then tension saw system. Oh, we have children argument on the side. Oh no, it was only fun. All right. How to adjust it, how the fueling. The book is very well made, like I say. I'm just gonna go to chapter. Oh yes, it's 50-1 for the fuel ratio. Most of the two-stroke engines are like that. Yeah, change your fuel pickup body once every year. I didn't know that. Mine has been there since 10 years. It's still working fine. But again, when I'm finished for the season, I empty the fuel. I keep the cap open so that it has a good ventilation. Maybe it's the reason why. All right. There's a chain lubrication. All right. Please use the proper oil change. If you're in the summer, it's thick oil. If in the winter, it's very light oil, because at that cold temperature, I made a video about that. And when you are in the mid-season, fall or spring, it's a mix of both. So there's oil for that. You don't need to pre-mix it. All right. And use proper oil, chain oil bar. Don't use transmission oil, stuff like that. It's only one grade. So, and I mean, I know it's more expensive, but you want to keep that investment. That oil pump is expensive, I tell you that. Chainsaw oil pump, yeah. Bar oil pump, sorry. There's information releasing the chain brake, how to play with the winter season for the carburetor, how to start it properly. There's two methods: when the chainsaw is on the ground, or when you have your chainsaw between your leg and you're cranking it with the hand brakes engaged. Just all done. As various information, how to adjust the carburetor, the spark plug. It's very well detailed. But one thing I tried to find out, yeah, that's the parts I'm talking about when I was showing, like all the components right here. And how to replace the chain sprocket. All right, that's the chain sprocket right here. It does show a sign of wear. This is in 10 years, this is my second one I changed. All right. Yes, it is my second one, and I still within the limits, but definitely you have to keep an eye on it. Now, yes, like GP on the video was asking, why is these are made for the to measuring the tool. I have just hold on, I'm gonna use my toolbox. Just hold on. Yes, I've got a chainsaw toolbar. It's basically all my chainsaw filings. I've got my grease. I already made a video about that. You just remove the just remove the cap, and that will grease the bar by pushing it. I also have all my file to adjust the rocker. Everything is in there. I've got various size sharpening tools. I've got my Stihl sharpening files. I always have a good bunch of it. I've got a spare part for my Homelite. That's the clutch. Right. What else? This is the thing when you. This is the file I'm using for my when I sharp chain, and this is what you can use when you sharp your chain. And there's the holder in there, and the book show you how to use that. I'm looking for a part. This is my spare. This is a brand spanking new one. I put the grease on it, and this is the hole I'm talking about, a greasable hole. So yeah, it's all greased, ready to use. I always keep a bar and backup. What else I have? Just hold on. I'm trying to look at. Oh yes, I got various items in here. Like I've got even one of these to sharp your file, your chainsaw. I've get a brush. Everything is there, but I'm missing a piece. Looking at just hold on. I thought I had it somewhere. Just hold on. This is when you sharp your. Basically, you put like this. I'm just gonna try to simulate that. It's tough, but yeah, this is what you do. How to sharp your chainsaw, basically. All right. There's another tool I'm missing. I'm just gonna show you a picture about it because just hold on. I'm gonna sweep my hands. So basically, that tool here is to have the proper angle for your teeth of your chain. And at the book there, it does indicate, and this is the thing for the file, how to sharpen it too. And there's one tool I like to show you where it is. Yes, this is for the adjusting the rocker. I have that tool somewhere. I don't know where it is, but I will find it. Lowering the depth gauge also, and just hold on, I'm just gonna do a quick review. And I put like red tar, this is important, yellow is less important, and the blue it's normal maintenance. So please do take the time to yes, after yes, GB again. All right, during braking period, a factory new machine should not be run at high level, high RPM, basically full throttle, off-load. For the first 3 tank filling, again, it's rated right there. I hope you see it. All right. During braking period, a factory new machine should not be run at high revolution, full throttle, off-load for the first 3 tank fill. All right. This avoid unnecessary high load during the braking period, as all moving parts have to bed in during the braking period. The frictional resistance in the engine are greater during this period. That's why also you put a little bit more oil into your mixture to protect the piston rings. All right. The engine develops its maximum power after about 5 to 15 tank filling. It's right there on the bottom there. All right. You see that, Gordon? It's written in there. All right. Now, but 2-stroke engine, I don't recommend it to always put a load on it. It's very important, and it's written in the book. I know after, but the price of fuel, I ain't gonna run it like this. I start it and then I start to work. All right. What else? Yes, slack off your chain after your work. This one is not that bad, but my Husqvarna, if I keep it tight after I run it, the chain will jump the. It's such a long bar, the strength will jump the adjustment, and I have to slack off everything to re-engage the bar, basically. So it's something you may consider doing. What's the other thing I have to check? Yeah. So at the end, there's the type of chain you can install on your chainsaw, because there's various type of chain you can install on your chainsaw. And also the maintenance chart is very well made. All right, so enough said about that book, but please, the best trick for me is use an highlighter, put part and put color tag, which is important. In this case, it was for our communication with GP Gordon. All right, but yes, it is important. Take the time to read it. And by the way, the reason why that book is clean, because I read it in my bathroom. No, just kidding. Well, it is, but I do a year renewal, and I have safety videos which I will add into my description. Like, take the time to read those outstanding videos. All right, now I'm just gonna put everything aside and like my toolkit back in place. Just hold on, I want to show you something. I've been on same here. I've been on cutting wood mission task from friends, and I was not able to film myself for various reasons. All right, So the first one I just want to do is I build myself a kit, and I use a old post leather. Like this one is basically all my safety glasses that I have inside my pouch, and I mean, it's really worth it to have a good safety glasses, all right, with side protection, adjustment, and I always keep them clean. I got another pouch. You can put your. This is my filing, because I do sharpen my chain when I'm on the field. So I've got the tool to disconnect the bar, the screwdriver to adjust the tension. I've got a spare file, all right, to adjust, because sometimes you may struck a piece of wood. So I've got a pouch with various chainsaw tools inside in there. Oh, maybe it's in there, that tool I'm looking for. Is it? And of course I have, I don't go with the one chainsaw, I go with many, so I have various sizes. This is the one for my Stihl, this is the one for my Husqvarna. Yeah, that's anyway, so just an idea like this to make yourself a quick kit. And also, like, I'll still have my same bucket with my, of course, my picker to remove. I have another one as a backup. I've got my brand new hammer, because I broke one of the mission I broke my hammer for putting my my spikes. That's not, I forgot the word, sorry about that, to use it. I've got my wood measuring tool. I've got a spare handle, axe. And one summer logging, I'm using those rubber gloves. So just a trick like that, when you're on the job site, it's easier to carry inside your car or your truck if you're lucky enough. And not lucky, but you need it. But it's better like this. So, alright, so stick around, I'm gonna talk to you about the chainsaw. Cheers. Alright, so a quick wrap up. So please do read your book, basically. And take the time to highlight, put markers, or you could do something else. There's guys, they even have an electronic version of that PDF, so you can download it, put it on your cellular, and when you're at your break or during lunchtime, you can have access to that PDF book. PDF is not the only platform they use. They can use other like words. Basically, it's a numerical operating book, so it's easier for, if it's easier for you, go ahead. And they even put inside their numeric platform link video where you can see it happening. So yes, but me, I'm the generation from book. But for you folks, a good young kid or older, like they'll rather have their tablet and looking, yes, there's another way. But as long as you know your stuff, especially the safety, the maintenance, and the many tips that I told you while during that book, it's great for you. Now, enough said. I'm going to start to clean. Alright, so basically what I'm going to do is start my compressor. I'm gonna air blow everything. I'm just gonna step by the camera. I'm gonna make it happening like here, and you're gonna see that in live action. Alright, and I'm gonna make a video without any talking. I'm just gonna reassemble it so you see it. Alright, so let's start to do that. Cheers. One thing I like to mention, since I redo the electrical connection in the back of my compressor, the engine is starting quicker, so they have the, let's say the electrical connection was up, not well installed or worn out, right? Alright, for the rest of the video, you don't need to see me. I'm just gonna take a clean rag and wipe off all the remaining of that outstanding cleaning. Especially the magneto side of it. Like I spent at least 5 minutes, like you see. It was filthy in there. So I'm going to do that, and then we'll make the last portion of the video. I mean the rebuilding the chainsaw. Alright, stick around. Alright, so bear in mind that will be my first attempt to reassemble everything, but I do remember that was the last part that I removed from my chainsaw. So I'm gonna start like this, then I'm gonna install that, then I'm gonna install the handlebar. I'm gonna put some screws, then the bar and the chain. Alright, so let's do that. Alright, so like you see, you need to juggle things around to install it. Now I'm gonna put the screws. I'm going to install the screws first, and then I'm going to tie it up at the end. Now for the top screw here for the handle, I remember it was coming with that cup. This cup to hold the handlebar, the brake. Just try to remember if I had any screws on that side. No, alright. So now I'm gonna tie up the screws. Just bear in mind it's on plastic, so you need to be gentle on these. I've got my torque wrench wrist set up. Click click. Click click. Whoop. Click click. 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 Click and click. So the cover is installed. Now let's go on the other side. Now it was that cover. That cover had smaller screws. Whoop. Not that screw. They even two sides are small screws. So this is alright. So there's three types of screws. Those long one, the middle one, and the small one. These are the small ones. So you really need to use my glasses properly. It's very well made because it's three size screws, but the same screwdriver to be used, so the same head. Well engineered, like most all German products, except Volkswagen, BMWs. Great engine, electrical sucks. Trust me, electrical connection on my Volkswagen, I redone all of them. I had a 1990 turbo diesel Jetta, and I had a 1989 BMW. The BMW electronic was not that bad, but the mechanical part of it, engine great, but click click, click click. All right. After that, Yes, it was this. So I'm going to install that. Oh, I didn't clean that. Yeah, you better put the teeth down because you want to grab the chainsaw to, if you put it like this, I don't think it will fit anyway. Yes, it does fit, but yeah, you follow the teeth pattern on the chainsaw. Just let you know, if you put it the wrong way, the plastic teeth doesn't follow. If you put it like this, then the plastic does follow the. Click, 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 click. Click, 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 click. Now, before putting the handlebar, you want to make sure right in here, this is the fuel line. This is the fuel line connected to the reservoir. You want to make sure that the fuel line is okay. That would be a great time to change it. And the electrical is right under here. I don't know if you can sit right under there. So you want to make sure everything is connected properly. Yeah, everything is fine. So the handlebar, that's gonna be a little struggle. Let me think about that. Yes, of course. Like this. And then you have to make sure the plastic. There we go. Alright, so when you install it, make sure that the wrong piece go in the wrong place here. Make sure this match right under here. And that goes right there. So let's start to put some screws. Here we go. So it's better to put the chainsaw on a flat surface. Click, 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 click. No. Yes. Where's my two little screws? No, those are the screws, alright. Click, 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 click. Click, 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 click. Click, 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 click. Then the screw here, and that's tough going sometimes. I hope you see it. There we go. Still that one to do. Oh, that one doesn't have screws. Oh, that's gonna be a pain to remove. I'm just gonna try something. Yeah, this one it's only having that little cap. Oh, all right. So I'm gonna use my pliers to remove it. Yes. So that one there, no screws. It's only that little cap hole who goes right like this. All right. Yeah, and that's where I'm missing the screws. Click, click. And another one there. Click. All right. So I've got screws. Get my 4 screws there, 2 screws there. What? I forgot to check these. Oh no, these are the engine basically mount screws, and I'm pretty sure they're good. All right. Now for these larger caps, one go here on the top, one goes right here. However, I missed one. This one went away, but that one is a special one. I need to buy it. It's the same purpose, but it's made of that synthetic white material here, since it's very close on the chain. So I'm just gonna put it later. All right, everything is working. Whoop, right down. All right, now for the top portion here. Okay, you have to remember it's very important to grease. Warning, it's very important to grease this, because this is the crankshaft rod basically that's holding the piston. So you don't want to have that thing bented or heated, so you need to grease that little thing. I'm just gonna put a bubble grease. Be back. So you see the bulb of grease. I'm just gonna put a little bit on the bearings. Not that much, because if you put excess grease, it will go on the clutch, and you don't want that. I'm gonna put a little bit on the shaft itself, the crankshaft. Right? And a little bit on the outside here, because I don't want it have it. You try to have the inside mostly clean. So I'm gonna put that little bearing here like this. Just wipe off the excess. Then I'm gonna put the clutch. I have to find the right way. Wow. Okay. Yeah, right there. You see that little notch there? You need to find the pin on the on the crankshaft outside, and yeah, right away, it's right on it. You wipe off the excess, then you take the not clean. Oh boy, you need to clean that.
This is the washer retaining for the clutch. You just put it like this above, and then the sear clip. There we go. So just make sure sear clip well installed, then washer, then the clutch itself with the that make the chain turn. All right. So that thing turned like hell. So make sure that the bearing is very clean and well lubricated. If you ever cut a stump and you have dirt, you need to remove that and clean that bearing inside, because dirt with the crankshaft, no good. All right. Now before installing this, I'm gonna take a blob of grease. Just hold on. Now this is the thing. I have my grease. I'm just gonna take. So you see it, like what I do is I just put my finger like this, and I force the grease inside as I'm turning. So I'm just gonna take another blob, and I'm just turning the sprocket and put the grease and force it to go in there. So it will grease the sprocket inside. So I'm basically filling it with grease inside in there. I can feel the difference too. And I put a light coat of grease all around the bar. That helpful against the wear down. So I'm gonna put the chainsaw like this an angle. It's not the best, but it's for your view. So the bar is like this. This is the hole to put the chain tensioners right there. This is the adjuster here. So I'm just gonna put the chain first. So I hope you see. So I engage the chain in the sprocket in here. So this is how it looks. So you engage the chain into the sprocket here, the clutch, and then make sure the pin is there. This is the when you flip the chain, and the lubrication happen on the other side, and it go around here. All right, just hold on. This is where the oil coming out to lubricate the chain, the bar. And that little hole there, and that one here, this is the receiving oil so the oil goes inside. So that's why it's so important to have it clean. All right. So I'm gonna install it again. So you engage the chain, and well, if you have a problem, just slack off the bolt here and we'll go. All right. Now make sure it's fully contact like this. So I put my hands a little bit. Put the like here. Put the screws. Now if I were to cut wood today, I will tie up the chain, but right now it's more on storage mode. So I'm just gonna tie it up right here, just kind of loose. And that's it. Now the only piece left, it's the cover. The cover, basically you have to put the choke down and then switch it like this. So voila, the chainsaw is built up. You do another, you just have to fill it up. Now I'm gonna do a last sweep because all my hand is greasy. But this is how you install, remove the handle. And it doesn't take too much tool, just a normal two screwdriver to remove the plastic cover. One screwdriver like this, that type. Of course, the spark plug for removing the cover here. Pair of pliers, couple of rags, grease for what did I show you to grease it. And usually when you put the storage, a chainsaw storage, you want to remove the spark plug, put some oil. But I'm gonna use that chainsaw in about 2 weeks from now, so in an upcoming video. And then you make sure then the cover for the fuel is loose, because you want to have a full ventilation in there. And you try to remove the oil in there, because chainsaw oil will go bad after a while. All right, chainsaw bar oil will go, so you try to empty it. This is for extra long storage, like all my just hold on. All my vintage chainsaw, they all cover loose, and yeah, some dust from the garage. But I always put a coat of oil on the top of the bar, so no corrosion will occur. And this is how I keep my 40 years old chainsaw running. Right? That's everyone. My God. All right, so I hope you like my video, and please ask me a question. But there you go. A picture is worth 1,000 words, but a video is worth millions of words. And thank you again for your outstanding support. I know it's gonna be a long video, only 45 minutes. I'm looking. I didn't edit it yet, but just bear in mind, for every 15-minute video, there's at least an hour of editing. And yes, there's a lot of work, so please pay attention in the video, look at it fully, take the time. And alright, on that, please enjoy life, take care of yourself, and thank you very kindly for all your outstanding support. Good folks. Cheers! Alright, what would be a video without seeing my puppy dogs behind? But this is all the dust who came out of the chainsaw. Mind the just the hay, but seriously, my floor was clean inside my garage. As you all know, I'm a clean freak guy, type of guy, folks, gentlemen. But it's amazing. Alright, so thank you again. Cheers.